We are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our special Behind the Geeks episode for Disney and Pixar's Elio. My name is Justin, and if you're joining us for the first time, we are Geekcentric, a podcast covering the world of movies, TV shows, toys, collectibles, gaming, and all things geek-centric. And today we are blasting off into the world of Elio, Pixar's upcoming intergalactic adventure, and we're thrilled to be joined by two incredibly talented people behind the film. First up, we sit down with the legendary Brad Garrett, better known as Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond, but he's also lent his voice to a variety of Pixar projects like Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, and so many more. He brings his loud, proud, and totally unforgettable Lord Grigon to life. We talk about finding the heart beneath the bluster, voice acting at a cosmic scale, and the emotional lessons Elio has for parents and kids alike. And then we are joined by Canada's own Oscar-winning director, Domee Shi. She has directed the Pixar short Bao, as well as Turning Red. Domee actually steps into this film midstream to help helm a deeply personal story about identity, connection, and what it means to find your place, even when it feels like you're from another world. A huge thanks to our friends at Disney Studios Canada for setting us up with these interviews. On a personal level, I am so grateful for the opportunity to talk with Domee. After seeing Turning Red, and just to see how personal and how heartfelt that was, she's always been a director on my bucket list of directors to want to talk to. So this really means a lot. So a huge thanks again to our friends at Disney Studios Canada for setting it up. We do have a spoiler-free review coming for Disney and Pixar's Elio. That'll be dropping tomorrow. It could be coming out later today, but more than likely it's coming out tomorrow morning. Already there's been great reviews for the film, so this is a surprise and delight. So definitely stay tuned. We're excited to share our thoughts. We are amidst the summer movies. There's lots to come. We're almost nearing the end of June. We got a couple more things in store for you, but then we're hitting July, and there's some big movies that are supposed to be coming out. So make sure you're subscribed to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to follow us on our socials. You can find us on Instagram at We Are Geekcentric. You can find us on TikTok at We Are Geekcentric, and you can find us on Twitter at GeekcentricYT. Okay, that's enough from me. Enjoy these interviews. First up is our interview with Brad Garrett, the voice of Lord Grigon. Hey, Brad, how are you, man?
How are you?
I am doing great, sir.
It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you. This is such a delight. I'm excited to talk to you about this film, and I'm especially excited to talk to you about your scene-stealing performance as Lord Grigon. I think you were outstanding, and he's so visually wild. He's big. He's got this presence to him. But underneath it all, there's a lot of heart. I wanted to ask you right off the bat, how did you connect with your character on a personal level?
Wow, that's interesting. I just kept thinking of Raymond and how much I hate him, and it just most I think a lot of this film is about bullying, and that's one of the things that I love about the film is it addresses that, which is so prevalent. It was a part of my childhood, and I kind of saw Grigon as, most villains are wounded, right? They're people that, I don't mean to sound like Dr. Phil here, but they have stuff that they've just never worked out. So everyone's going to pay for it,
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of just went, wow, this is a guy that's just bigger than life, obviously, literally. And I think so much of his bravado is covering up things that he missed in his childhood. And I think Elio is probably the first person to really show him a window into that goodness. to maybe look at the other side. I love the messages about parenting. I love the messages about dealing with grief, things you don't really touch upon in an animated film. And it's so prevalent, obviously, in our society. But that's what's great about a Pixar film is they're able to pull at those heartstrings, and then you're laughing the next minute, and then you're
Absolutely.
yeah. So
I feel like there's so much that's relatable to Lord Grigon's journey, and just
yeah,
like you said, I'm a father. I have almost a 3-year-old, and there's so much
okay,
I can relate to understanding that idea of not wanting to project too much, but
exactly.
give that room for your child to grow and be themselves in the best way.
So this your first child?
Yes, it is. It is.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I wanted, I was a fixer.
Right.
I was so afraid of repeating any of the stuff that didn't work for me in my childhood that I became a little bit of a helicopter
Controlled.
parent.
I know. I got
And
you.
I could
I know
see
what you
you've
mean.
already worked through that. So good for you.
I try to, but
Well, you're
I definitely
aware
have
of
to
it.
catch myself.
You're
Yes,
aware
but it's
of
movies like this that help kind of shape that, like you
Yeah.
said. And
Yeah.
there is such deep emotional truth to all Pixar movies, and this one was no different. Was there
Yeah.
anything that surprised you emotionally about this film when you saw it in its full completion?
I was just amazed at what the Elio character was able to navigate
Hmm.
and without making him a victim.
Hmm.
It's like all the things that weighed heavy, even though he was trying to find out who he was, none of it ever deterred him,
Hmm.
and he became more courageous in the more foreign environment. That's what was so. He had trouble on Earth, but when he went to the communiverse, he was in control, which showed me that he had it all the time, like all of us do. It's there. It's just how
It's
do
there.
we tap into it?
That's such a great motto in life, is to understand what's inside of you. It's just unlocking that potential,
Yeah,
and maybe it is a new opportunity, and maybe
you
it is
bet.
seeing that. Now, you've voiced so many different characters in your career. When you're playing someone like Lord Grigon, like, what part of you are you really kind of like dialing up? Are you doing more like body performance? Like, are you performing while you're in the booth and stuff like that to really get that level?
There was a lot of body performance, and you really have to, especially when you're playing a massive character physically. Nothing is done small. So the exertions of just throwing something or grabbing something, it all has to have that weight and bravado behind it, that girth. And that's where great, directors come in that we were obviously lucky enough to have, because they got to keep that. Because I'm always trying to be like, gosh, don't overact. But with animation, it's very different. And the great thing is they draw to your dialogue, so it keeps it very loose, and you can come up with ideas, and they can come up with ideas. And but it was a lot of fun. Grateful to be part of this.
That's awesome. Well, I would love to see the behind the scenes of you in the booth doing the voice performance to get that presence. But this has been an absolute
Thank
blast, Brad. It is so
appreciate you,
great
man.
to chat with you, and thank you again for
Thank
the
you.
laughs and just bringing Lord Grigon to life. I can't wait for everyone to meet him in Elio
Thank you.
later.
Hug your
Thank you so
kid.
much.
Hug your kid.
I will. I
Take
will.
care. Good
Thanks,
luck.
Brad.
Next up is our interview with Oscar-winning director Domee Shi. Enjoy. Hello, Domee. How are you?
I'm good.
It's such an honor to have you on the Geekcentric podcast. I'm such a huge fan of your work. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Nice to be
excited.
home.
Yeah. Nice to be home. Nice to be home with a new movie.
Yeah,
Show
absolutely.
everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I saw Elio last week, and I was blown away. I was completely surprised by it. It's so heartfelt. There's just such a beautiful message behind it. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to geek out with you about it.
Yeah, let's
I
do
have a
it.
fun question for you to kind of start
Oh,
things
yeah,
off.
let's do it.
Okay, so Elio sends a message out to space,
Mhm.
hoping to make contact.
Mhm.
So I thought I'd ask you if you could send a message, maybe not even a message, a song,
Oh.
a movie,
Oh.
or a snack
Oh.
out to space that you could connect with the aliens. What would you pick?
A song, a movie, or a snack?
Yeah.
Ooh. I would send mochi. I'd send Mochi into space. The movie I would send, because I keep thinking about it these days, Spirited Away by Hayao Miyazaki. Such a good movie. And then a song, it's kind of cheesy, but how about Imagine by John Lennon?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That's actually so like inviting.
It is,
Yeah.
because I don't want to scare them away.
Absolutely. That was my thought process. I was thinking for a song, I would pick something from Stevie Wonder.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
I was thinking Superstitious, just to kind of like, highlight the idea of how humanity can be a little bit,
Yeah.
superstitious about things. But I think this movie, though,
Oh,
would be fantastic to send
that's
out.
that's the better answer. I should have said Elio.
No, it's okay. Because honestly, I feel like it captures all the right nuances of what we would want if we were in terms of connecting with aliens. And, I think Elio for us as humans is entirely relatable. He's quirky. He's just this lonely kid who has this big imagination. I just saw myself when I was younger in him. Did you see yourself in Elio? How do you relate to him?
Oh, definitely. I think when I work on any project, I have to kind of find that personal connection to the protagonist in some way. And for Elio, it really is his passion and obsession with getting abducted, and finding a place where he belongs. I remember being that driven as a kid and a teenager, and wanting to go to animation school, wanting to get accepted into Sheridan College, this animation program, working day and night on my portfolio, just hoping and dreaming for the day I can just walk through the hallways and be with my people, like other kids who understood me, who like watched the same movies and TV shows and anime as me. I definitely infused that into the character of Elio. Yeah.
Sure, it finds your communiverse, right?
Yeah, find my universe.
Absolutely. And with that, there's just such a deep message about connection, and it goes beyond just, across galaxies. It's between people. What do you hope audiences would take away from that message specifically?
Yeah, my hope is that audiences are kind of inspired to kind of reach out and make connections with the people around them. I feel like, post-pandemic, kids and adults are probably feeling more lonely and isolated than ever, but they don't know what to do with that feeling. But like the first step is just to admit that you're lonely and that you want company and that you want, companionship and friendship. And if we can all just be kind of like brave and honest about that, I think, we'll all just feel a little bit more connected, like Elio does in the movie.
Absolutely. And it kind of becomes his strength in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. And also this idea of just, our differences can also be celebrated as something that can unite us, right? And that's very much that. You've been at Pixar for over a decade now, right?
Like almost 14 years.
Oh my gosh. You started as a story artist and now you're creative VP. I asked Peter Stone this exact same question, and I wanted to know, how has the culture at Pixar shaped you, made you grow as a filmmaker?
Oh man. Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't be here today as a filmmaker if if it wasn't for Pixar, if it wasn't for working on Pete Docter's movie Inside Out as my first project, watching how he directs in this like messy, chaotic way, but like from his heart, how he kind of comes in not knowing all the answers, but like is open and willing to try things and to collaborate and to throw spaghetti against the wall, to not be precious with stuff, to be open with taking, feedback and suggestions and notes from like all members of the crew, even though he doesn't like follow everybody's like suggestions or notes, like he created that kind of like
safe space
environment. Yeah. And I think that really, to be a part of that, and like it was really helpful for my confidence to grow and for my voice to grow, like being on that project where I felt like I was listened to, and that my opinion and my voice was valued, just really helped me find my voice quickly as a storyteller. But also getting to work with other directors at Pixar too, like Peter Sohn,
Mhm.
like who is also an amazing draftsman, and he also comes from story. So seeing how he kind of took on being a director, coming as a storyboard, like from a storyboard artist to director, really inspired me. Working with Brad Bird too, and just getting to work with him a little, even for a little bit on Incredibles too, and seeing how he's able to like he is so decisive, but also he is so collaborative in a way that like it's not like he dictates what he wants from you. He will sit down and he will explain all the steps that it took to get to this point. And if you have another thought or idea, he'll listen to it and like maybe he'll take it, but if he doesn't take it, he'll explain why. And you always understand why he makes every choice. So I just feel like I just, went to film school 101
Again.
like learning from all of these amazing filmmakers.
Communiverse 2.0, let's
Yeah,
say, right? Like,
totally.
you know what I mean? So I feel like that's, finding your voice was probably something that was so pivotal in terms of getting to something like Turning Red, which I absolutely adored. And honestly, the fun, bold style of that film is amazing. It was so refreshing. And to see it sort of replicated in Win or Lose,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to ask you, has it been sort of refreshing to see how much of Turning Red might have influenced other people within your team to kind of go the distance with the animation?
Yeah, I am so proud of those guys, of Michael Yates and Carrie Hobson for creating Win or Lose. That is just such an amazing series. I mean, I'd like to say that like Turning Red kind of blazed that trail, but they were already blazing trails
Sure.
at Pixar before Turning Red. Like I worked with both of them on Toy Story 4 for like a small period of time when we all overlapped. Those guys are just so incredible. I think we all kind of are the same age too, so we're all probably inspired by a lot of the same movies and art and influences. But that series was kind of happening almost at the same time as like towards the end of Turning Red. So like we were sharing a lot of resources.
Yes.
Like there's like certain kind of elements like there's like a green suit that one of the characters puts on. That actually is the same green suit that Ming wears in Turning Red. They repurposed it for that for this show for budget, but also it's such an awesome suit. So yeah, I mean, at Pixar, like the directors are always like sharing work with each other, getting feedback from each other. So, like I feel like I was inspired by them as much as they were inspired by me.
Awesome. Well, as I wrap here, I just want to know one last thing, and that is, if you were looking back on this journey as a co-director, what would you want to take with you for your next project, to your next project in-house?
I just love how collaborative and scrappy we were on this film. Due to like the writer's strike, the actor's strike, our time being compressed, it kind of forced us, kind of in a good way to just kind of be messier, work faster, looser, lean on each other more. It felt like I was in college again at some points, just like working on a group project with my fellow classmates, even though we were making like a multi-million-dollar movie. Some part of it still felt like we were making like a grassroots indie movie. So I want to take that spirit, that scrappiness into my next project for sure.
Awesome. I love that. It's like a family. Everyone gets to work together.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's always the best thing about Pixar when you hear about it, is there's just such a family mentality around it. So again, Domee, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the Geekcentric podcast. It really means a lot. And I'm excited for people to see Elio, because I think no matter your age, young or old, you're going to connect with this story. And I think it's so charming.
Oh, thank you so much.